Hey, Talent Warriors, this is your host, George Randle. We're going to do a short, but hopefully impactful segment on really what the Talent War Group is all about. Now, those of you that have been listening to this podcast or have kindly picked up and read our book, The Talent War, How Special Operations and Great Organizations Win on Talent. I had the distinct privilege and, really the gift of a lifetime because there's so many people that have a book in them, and I thought I did, but running into my brother, Mike Sorelli, it finally all came together, and we were able to combine the best of his 20 years in special operations and the best of my 20 years in talent acquisition in the human capital space. And so we were really, really humbled by the success of the book. And there were a lot of things we taught. And, really we started our firm was placing special operations veterans into companies. And after the book, we had so much interest in replicating that search process for companies. And then a lot of requests and needing assistance for helping them get better at all things talent. And so that's what we're going to talk about briefly today. And fortunately, this is a podcast, so you don't have to suffer death by PowerPoint and see our marketing collateral. But I wanted to go through a few things that we believe we do exceptionally well and where we really, really can help companies. And, our roots are with search. But as Mike and I made the point in our book, and we used Tracy Keogh's quote, which is HR is the table, and that talent is the only thing, the only competitive advantage that you can hope to achieve and maintain that's going to set your company apart. And so if you don't have talent as top of the spear, every area of your company is not going to be able to reach its potential. And so, we start with search. And so it's a kind of a unique way that we do it. And it's multifaceted, and I won't give away the secret sauce. But, our president, Carly Walden, who years as a trained behavioral analyst and linguist, Mike has not only all of the leadership time, but is actually a leadership instructor for Navy SEALs, truly one of the best speakers and instructors on leadership, but also assessing that talent. And then, I'm able to pair that up with my 20 years and hiring over 80,000 people worldwide. And so our search is a little bit different. And first and foremost, we help companies find impactful leaders. And we tell the companies that talk to us, if leadership isn't the number one criteria, we can't help you with the search. But we do executive and senior leader search, preferably impactful positions. And, we don't take everybody that comes along. Because we really are invested in the success of our companies, our partners that we work with. But our executive search helps every position in the C-suite help you find the right leader to lead your organization or that particular function. The level 2, the next one down, and usually sometimes the level 3, depending on the size of the organization. But you don't even get to see candidates until Carly, Mike, and I have touched on them. And now we've added Josh Johnson, a 32-year special operations veteran Green Beret and leadership instructor, to help us assess that talent before you even see it. So not only do we find some of the absolute best talent, we have a very unique methodology for seeing that candidate that you eventually hire fits and exponentially increases the benefits and products, the revenue of your company. So we use a number of behavioral interviews. We use a lot of different tools. And absolutely, this is not about the typical executive search firm, which is just who you know. We really go to great lengths to make sure that we get the right leaders in front of you for you to select who are going to impact and really bring an ROI far beyond what you expected. Now, one of the things that differentiates us is we're not content there, because leaders left to themselves, every time you change environments, every time you change circumstances and firms, there's that learning curve. And so we continue coaching and helping with the assimilation of that leadership selectee by coaching them over the next 6 months. And that's included in the fee that we bring. And I think that really, really separates us. And so every hire gets Carly, gets Josh, gets Mike, or gets myself as a coach, where we're talking to both the candidate and the hiring manager to make sure that while the learning curve we know is going to be steep, we make sure that it's not tall. And we're really, really good at it and very, very proud of our success and conversion rate of 99%. The second thing we do kind of builds off that coaching. We talk a lot about coaching and mentorship. And we do both. We do that with executives. And we use a number of tools: predictive index, leadership circle, Hogan assessments, behavioral interviews. But it's designed and delivered in a way that allows executives to take their game to the next level. Because as we all know, and I think there's a book titled, it's not the skills that got you there that are going to be needed to get you where you're going. Every professional athlete, everybody trying to get better has a coach. And so we've provided some of the best in the world. And we spend an awful lot of time assessing the DNA of that person through the tools and behavioral interviews to make sure that we can help that leader really up their game in a big, big way. We do that through weekly coaching, bi-weekly coaching, and sometimes, and in many cases, we're now coaching entire teams. So it's not just the executive, but it's the executive teams and driving that team dynamic, which collectively is going to bring even bigger results. But we've been coaching now for a long, long time, and we take a lot of pride and take a lot of effort and time to make sure that we assign the right coach. So it's one of the things that I know that I absolutely love to do the most, and I'm spending the majority of my time on. But I find that it's the most beneficial because one of the things that we know is that leadership and leadership coaching, executive coaching, mentorship, when it's delivered from somebody outside the bubble, they will grow faster and they will go further. Now, we wrote the book that talked about attracting, assessing, and selecting talent. So one of the third offering that we do is we do a lot of HR consulting. We do a lot of talent acquisition consulting. As we mentioned in our books, one of the biggest mistakes is that HR is rarely structured for success because it's thought of as a support function, which, as you all know, listening on this podcast, to me, has really been kind of the thorn in my side. And it's one of the things that Mike and I really wanted to change the conversation on was how do we change human capital, human resources functions to include TA, leadership development, which I'm going to get to, into a game changer, because that is the gateway. It was Mike that said it best. It's the gateway to all the revenue producing positions and products in your company. So you better get it right and you better have A players. So we come in, we can do talent acquisition team audits, we can do system audits, HR organizational development to make sure that that organization is structured and staffed with the A players necessary to help the rest of the company deliver on their goals. Now, the final offering, which we are doing more and more about, which I'm really excited to share with you, is the leadership development. And executive coaching is a form of leadership development. But for those of you that haven't seen Mike Sorelli and Josh Johnson in action, delivering leadership workshops, seminars, speaking engagements, the only thing I can say is they're going to blow you away. And as a matter of fact, that's really how I came to be a strategic advisor to Mike's company, was listening to Mike speak. It's impactful, it's lasting, and the way that Mike delivers, whether it's a speech or leadership development, anchors and lasts and cements with people. I just haven't seen anybody better. And now we've added Josh Johnson, 32-year Green Beret, Sergeant Major. The strength of the leadership development on this team and Carly delivering is absolutely phenomenal. So we will come look at your leadership development programs, assess those. We will build those. We will build leadership competencies, career paths. We will do all of those things as part of that HR audit. And sometimes we do that separately, but we deliver what you need to build better leaders, not better managers. We build better leaders. And our instructors have been doing this for decades, and they have coached, mentored, trained, and developed some of the most lethal warriors and best corporate leaders in the world today. Now, we weren't content to just simply come on site and do this. So there were two other products or deliverables, programs, however you want to label it. And the first one really was the brainchild of Mike Sorelli, and that was Battlefield Walks. And when he brought that up to me, I was super excited because as a junior and mid-grade officer, I had done a number of battlefield walks. And the example we usually give is taking a group of senior leaders on a 1.5 to 2 day battlefield walk of something like Gettysburg. And while you may not be a fan of military tactics necessarily, you may not really want to relive your high school history class in Gettysburg. I can share with you that when you walk the battlefields of Gettysburg and other ones that we've chosen with Mike, with Josh, with the other facilitators that we bring on site, you're discussing and living and seeing leadership in action by reviewing the humans who had to make life-changing decisions. And eventually, in the case of Gettysburg, decisions on battles that would eventually change our country. And you're looking at them and discussing them through the eyes of leaders. What were they seeing? What were they thinking? What information did they have? How quickly did they have to make a decision? How did they have to delegate? What resources, conditions, what environmental challenges, terrain challenges did they have? What were all of the dynamics that went into that leader making decisions that were so consequential to the people that they led and the country that we now love more than anything else? It brings to life the human element of leadership in a way that no other program does. And I can't wait, because I've been coaching so much and we've done a few of them, but I can't wait to get out there and do them again because, frankly, I was one of those people that when I was a junior officer, I'm like, why do I need to be studying the leadership of people who marched in a line or carried muskets? I was in the modern age with modern automatic weapons and more lethal equipment, but nothing had a more profound impact on how I viewed the human condition, the leadership and decision-making processes of some of the most amazing leaders in the world and some of the leaders who were not good ones, which also impacts how that battle took place. And we tied those lessons, those leadership perspectives and human behaviors into things that you can immediately impact your company by delivering with. Now, the last program is just absolutely amazing, and it's called Into the Wild Extreme. And if you've been following our content, this is where we get a group of leaders and executives completely out of their bubble and they're very customized. They can be 3-day, 4-day, 7-day, 10-day. And it's not just about the perspectives of leadership like the battlefield walk. Now we are into the leadership perspective and the team leadership and followership dynamics by putting people into more extreme conditions. Now, we're not going to take you down to the beaches of San Diego like Navy SEALs and throw you in the cold surf and roll you around in the sand. This is about taking you to places like Moab, Utah, the Rockies, Yellowstone. It may be out into the Appalachians, but you are going to be led by instructors who have designed, tested, led, taught some of the most lethal warriors in the world. So they are bringing the techniques and the experience of teaching leadership and team dynamics for the world's most lethal warriors in the U.S. Special Operations community. These are a great chance to not only improve your individual leadership skills, but to have your team operate as a cohesive unit. And, one of the special operations truths that we wrote about in the book was that individuals don't win, teams do. And Into the Wild Extreme allows you to get off electronic devices. It allows you to get outside of the bubble, learn from the absolute best in the world, how to make the most dynamic, fast-moving, and competitive team in your space. So, what started out as helping special operations veterans make an impact in what we arguably believe to be the most powerful force in the world, the U.S. economy, has come from now to search, consulting, coaching, and leadership development. And folks, I'm really, really fortunate and proud to be associated with such fine leaders. And I hope that you take a chance to come see us at the talentwargroup.com website. I hope you take a look at the different offerings, some videos, the pictures, the testimonials of some of these great programs. If you're a leader who wants to create a legacy of leadership, we're the people that can help you do that and make sure that you're successful. So I hope you take the time to connect with us on LinkedIn, follow us on Instagram, come visit the website, and I hope you give us a call. If you're interested in being a better leader, creating the ecosystem that brings better talent and better leaders into your organization, and if you're interested at all in really seeing what great leadership development looks like, you should give the Talent War Group a call. We would love to chat with you. And thank you for listening to the Talent War podcast, where we discuss all things talent.
focusing on a true talent mindset, which is a core belief that the only true competitive advantage you can hope to achieve and maintain is your talent. Join us for the next episode of the Talent War podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you like what you heard, subscribe, please leave a review, and connect with Dr. Tom Lokar and myself on Talent War Group's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram accounts, and send your comments and inquiries to media@Talent War Group. The Talent War podcast is brought to you by the Talent War Group, a management consulting and executive search firm. With services like talent acquisition, leadership development, seminars, and executive coaching, we will work with you to create talent solutions to your business problems. To get started, please visit us at www.talentwargroup.com.